Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Silver Tears Tarot. Warm welcome to those of you who are new to the channel. This morning, when I woke up, before I even opened my eyes, I knew that there was something kind of special about the energy today. So, if I hadn't already been planning to get up and do a reading for you today, I would have had to break in with one of those impromptu pop up readings, and I suppose you never know. You could hear from me again. I do those pop up readings whenever the energy seems right and it coincides with me having a few minutes. So this morning, we're going to do a relatively open reading with some open questions to see what wants to come out because it seems like something really does want to. So, as usual, it is a general reading, it's for all signs. And we know it's not going to resonate with everyone, but if it resonates with you, if you find out that this is your story, please hit like, but you may wish to also subscribe and check out some of the other videos because this has been one big connected series of readings. Um, I'm trying to decide which one I'm going to do. I think I'm going to read for you with the Darkwood Tarot, and then I'm going to clarify with the Tarot of Dragons. We're going to get started by looking at the energetic backdrop. And so this is for soulmates who are not in communication or are in some form of separation. So some of the ones, some of you are in separation and still have the potential to communicate. Excuse me, to communicate. Um, we've got the Five of Pentacles coming up, or I'm sorry, the Four of Pentacles coming up in that energetic backdrop. So there is a sense of not wanting to let something go. It is this is a little bit of an anxiety sort of feeling coming off of this card because, generally speaking, the Four of Pentacles is a miserly feeling. It's wanting to hold on to something. It's not being able to let go of something. But here, I mean, it is that, but it's also, it's got a little bit of anxiety associated with it. So we'll look to see a little bit more about that. But with an energetic backdrop like that, I can see how, when I woke up, it felt like just things were moving a little bit differently. Things were moving a little bit faster, it felt like, but not necessarily like we were heading toward something exciting happening, or it was hard to say, and I was trying to figure out why is it different now than it was, when I went to bed. So far what we're seeing in this energy, though, this energetic backdrop, is I'm having a hard time letting go. I'm also feeling, like I said, a little bit of anxiety with that and a lot of nostalgia. um, let's see what is really sticking out for your person emotionally. So this is going to be what is sticking out for them in general emotionally. We're going to look at that here, and then we'll look at what's sticking out with regard to you in the next pile. So what is sticking out in their emotions just in general right now? So we've got a couple of cards that wanted to come out for that. We've got the King of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. So this is a desire to start something new, and to feel like they're ready to start something new and deserving of it, because you get that sense where maybe you'd like to start something new, but you feel like maybe it's not the right time for you. Maybe you're not ready. So there's a readiness in your person's energy that has not been here. And it's really probably, we'll see what's kind of happening, what else sticks out in their emotions, but that is stunning. So that could be, we'll have to see what that ends up meaning. So they're ready for actually allowing their emotions to move in and out. So being able to like breathe in and out, with love coming and going, giving and receiving, and they're feeling deserving of it. I don't know if they had a crazy dream or what was going on, but that's the emotional space your person is in. So that fits well with things feeling like they were moving a little bit faster. It's almost not faster, but almost a little bit more streamlined. And that's that Ace of Cups. So let's look at, I said the other thing I was going to look at here was how your person, it's essentially what they're feeling about you, but it is what sticks out the most about how they're feeling about you and your situation. Because the other one is more general, just that they're feeling more ready. Whew, okay, so they're ready to make things right with you. This is not at all what I expected when I woke up this morning. So this is interesting. I'm glad to see. I'm glad we're doing this. So we've got this. I don't want to let go. There's a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of nostalgia associated with it. There is this feeling of being ready to open up emotionally and do something new emotionally, and a desire to make things right with you. So that's quite a backdrop. Let's go ahead and see. Another critical energy that is acting upon you guys at this time. This is, I've said that this is one of those questions that will sometimes turn the tide in one of these readings. And in this reading, I don't have any idea what to expect because I've already not seen what I expected. So we've got the Knight of Cups that's come out here. Okay, so this is fear. This is lack of. It it's a feeling of, okay, so with the Knight of Cups in reverse, sometimes I don't get that inspiration sense, but with this one I do. It's there is an inspiration, there's an I'm ready to move forward, and yet I've got this thing that's not allowing me to move forward. So yeah, that may turn the tide of the reading a little bit. We have to see exactly what that's going to mean. Let's get in and see what's hidden. So this is going to be hidden energies, what you can't see from where you're standing. And the way I want to ask this question is that it's hidden energies that you can't see from where you're standing, but that might clear up a misunderstanding between you and your person if you were aware of it. Let's see. So we've got the Six of Swords in reverse. This goes all the way back to when the two of you started to really notice each other. So it may not have been exactly when you met, although for a lot of you it was. When you were getting to know each other, one of the things that there were things happening in your person's life, and they were not at a place where things were calm and they were feeling confident about things. Instead, there was this sense of things not having calmed down, and they were almost kind of at the end of their rope about something when the two of you came together. You may be aware that there were some things going on, and you may not be aware that full extent to which your person was feeling these things. So that might help to clear up a little bit. But again, we'll see what happens when we go in to clarify. Before we do that, let's jump in and see what it is. What's the best thing you can be doing at this time? And I'm thinking about where we're going to go because I'm going to clarify here in a minute. That'll get us to that next level of energy. But then I want to go and do an extended reading because this energy just kind of it just keeps giving. The cards are popping right out. It's the images are popping right out. I have a tendency to be very visual in the way that I interpret the images. Um, and they're really just popping up for me. The concepts are popping right out. So we're going to go in a little bit deeper in the extended. And what I can't tell is where we want to go in deeper. So I guess we'll see what we learn there. But first, again, what can you be doing right now that will really kind of help things out? Okay, and we have the Eight of Pentacles. So that is okay. This is your focus. This is focusing on um, your your emotional well-being, but it's also your emotional self-mastery. So there's this sense here that it's you're a little bit emotionally off balance because of this relationship. And so we've been getting these pieces of advice lately to, go find something new that ignites your soul. But in order to do that, you have to find it, which is challenging, especially when your focus is so challenging, as in hyper focused almost on this relationship because of the nature of the impact that it's had on you. So the very act of looking at other things and looking to see what it is, that thing that's going to ignite you, is going to start helping to balance your emotions. We've seen that. But this has you specifically striving for emotional self mastery. So I'll be looking forward to clarifying that one here in a moment too. And so clarifying is right where we're going to go. We're going to start with this Four of Pentacles here, and this is in that current energetic backdrop between the two of you. So there's the Knight of Cups, and it is in the upright. Okay. This was the energy that was happening between the two of you, and we saw that you were um, feeling like it's the two of you not wanting to let go. The two of you have this feeling of not wanting to let go of one another, of just kind of in general the situation. And so you have the Knight of Cups that has come up here. And the Knight of Cups, again, it's similar to this feeling that has come out in the reverse over here. except that it's not as much of the inspiration. It's more of the here's what I plan to do about it. So I think this is there's a lot of action in the feelings there, but not necessarily capability for that action because of the anxiety that sits here. Because we've also got the Seven of Pentacles that's come out with it. And the Seven of Pentacles is kind of explaining why maybe there's this sense of anxiety that goes along with it, and what would be shutting down the ability to reach out and make that communication that your person clearly is inspired to make. So there's this sense of not having invested when they were supposed to invest, or the way that they interpret it, that they didn't invest when they were supposed to, and now they feel like there's not as much of an opportunity, or they don't know how they're going to be received, and yet they can't let go, and they're very inspired to make an overture. It's not necessarily an apology. That's almost what came out of my mouth, which tells me that for some of you that's what it is, but it's definitely an overture that they are dreaming of making, thinking of making, and feeling like they're ready for something new. When they like this energy, I don't know if it's when they woke up. Everybody's in a time, different time zones. So it really has, I'm not going to say when they woke up this morning, but I will say it's a very recent development. This feeling of being deserving and of feeling like they can open themselves up, because we've seen a lot about blockages in them. And so let's get into that. I'm super curious to understand this. So we've got the Fool. So they're feeling like they can move forward, but they're not feeling like they're willing to, or they're not ready to. The Fool in reverse is not jumping into something new. It's not taking a risk, and so they're feeling like they can, but not like they want to go all the way. And we see here that they have that inspiration a little bit cut off. They want to make things right with you. We saw that over here, and they're fighting that inspiration. And here we've got the Six of Pentacles. Here's that sense of, okay, so it almost belongs over here with the Justice card, but it also belongs with the Ace of Cups. This is the Six of Pentacles that talks about equal give and take. It talks about actually being able to perform that give and take. And so this Ace of Cups, I had talked about that being giving and receiving love. This is the equal exchange of energy. And so it's fairly similar in that regard, except that the Ace of Cups speaks of emotional energy, and it's got that sense of something new coming out. So let's look at this Justice card, because this isn't how your person is feeling about you. But it's interesting because it's like they want to make things right. There's a desire to make things right, which is, I don't know that that's really what I expected when I went to look to see what it was that your person was feeling about you. So we've got this card and this card that have the glow to them and want to be in the reading. So let's see what we got. We have, okay, the Universe card. This is the equivalent of the World card. And that is like you're the happy ending. You are the end all be all. That is what that Universe card is telling us. So they want to make things right with you. You are the end all be all. And there is this sense of a a delay, and they're very aware of this delay. They're also interesting. We knew that there's some consciousness. This person has some awareness and consciousness of things that have been going on. They're aware that this delay is basically around everybody getting aligned, everybody getting on the same page. And so it's that emotional, spiritual reconciliation that would have to happen before the physical, before it happens in the physical realm. And again, you could be in communication with your person, but still very much at an impasse, and not in alignment enough with them, such that it feels like you're truly in separation. And so they're aware that that's being caused partially by these lessons that they're not completely learned, things that have not been made right, and yet you feel like that happy ending to them. That's you. And they're ready in some ways to move forward, but we also see that they're kind of cutting themselves off at the knees, or um, like nailing their shoes to the ground, like they're not allowing themselves to move forward. And we see that here too, this Knight of Cups, but this has more fear in it. And so that helps us to understand maybe a little bit about what's driving it. So we've got the Five of Swords. This is a card of wanting to just kind of walk away from the challenges that come out. So the Five of Swords in the upright is a card of not just challenges, but also of like challenges that don't make a lot of sense. So it's where you work really hard to do this, to win this battle, but you discover in there that it doesn't actually benefit you to win the battle. There, you lost more than you gained. It's that sort of feeling. And I'm sorry, this came in the reverse because your person no longer wants to jump into feeling or situations where they've lost more than they gained. And the same is true for you. So I don't see this as so much of a shared energy, but this Five of Swords in the reverse does feel like a shared energy. So then we have the Three of Swords. That's about the brokenheartedness. And it's about how much it's impacting how things go forward now. But we also have that Sire of Pentacles. So this is the opposite of this one. In the reverse here, this is the Sire of Pentacles saying that I don't deserve this. I'm not ready for this. I don't feel like I am have that masculine energy aligned up in such a way that I can move forward. Whereas today, the way they woke up, they kind of do feel like that. But they've got this, and I'm going to put these this way so you can read the cards if you're one of those screenshot people. But it's just a matter of this kernel of discontent that sits and kind of guides their actions. This is, I don't want to say it's in the realm of just perception, but I will say it's like a big fat Nine of Wands where they've got, and that's all these cards put together feel like a Nine of Wands to me, where they are still guarding a wall that no longer maybe needs to be guarded. It's possible it never needed to be guarded, but the idea here is that's what's staying their hand. That is what is causing them not to step forward. It's what's causing them not to move forward. And we also have here a little bit of that fear that they haven't invested enough and that they wouldn't be received well. And yet they can't let go. So let's look at this Six of Swords. So again, this speaks to how they were when the two of you became close. So it's like I said, not necessarily when you first met, but it is when you first became close. And there was this sense that things were happening. They were getting over something, or rather, they weren't even in that position where they could get over things just yet. They were still in a place where things were pretty tumultuous and they were trying to work through it. Things were not moving in their direction just yet. So this is the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, suggesting that there is a door that they wanted to open that they were not able to get that door to open just yet. A single card. Yep. So we also have the Five of Pentacles in reverse here. What they were working on was a form of the lesson, one of the lessons, or a few of the lessons that they need to learn that you have also stimulated. So they were already kind of I don't want to say they went through the ringer because in some cases it was like a slow motion ringer, but they had already been investigating this lesson. And this is part of what they maybe hadn't uncovered when the two of you came together, this door that hadn't opened yet, and then the lessons that hadn't been learned. But what they really need to learn is that they can be okay. So there's this triggering sense of in a lot of cases, it's abandonment, it's betrayal. I get that so strongly in both you and your person. But I think that is what they were working on that was holding them back as they were coming into contact with you and becoming closer. And some of the reactions that you saw were them reflexively reaching out and kind of grabbing onto you, like, please don't leave me, please be my, in some cases, narcissistic supply. That's not everybody, but that one just really wanted to jump out right there. But on the other hand, they were also aware of this about themselves, and it's caused them to be aware that there are some things that they still need to finish working through before they'd be able to be successful. So that's the logical side, that they would need to work through it before being successful. But over here is that emotional side. So this is that, like I said, kernel of discontent that would have to be dealt with before you could truly move on and get together in a way that was meaningful, before you could truly reconcile and then move toward that potential for a reunion. But this flicker right here, this feels like a flicker in your person's energy, allowing them to feel ready for it. Like after this, they know it's possible. So this gives me a lot of hope as far as your situation is concerned, because it feels like this is the sun coming out for them, and it may immediately be obscured by clouds again, but knowing that sun is there is definitely an awesome thing. So before we go to the extended, and I'm thinking about what's going to be in that extended. We're going to take all of these together because this emotion, even though this is more general, this is still very central to your situation. We're going to take all of this and we're going to look at what is happening with their feelings about the situation and just in general, and dig in a little bit deeper and kind of see what makes them tick a little bit there. I think we also need to look into. Um, almost that I want to look into the nature of what you're supposed to be getting. So the nature of the relationship and what you're supposed to be getting from it. And the reason I want to do that is because of this Four of Pentacles. There's just something about this that is hanging and feels like there's more that needs to come out there. But first, let's get into this Eight of Pentacles. Because remember, this was the thing that you could be doing, the best thing for you to be doing at this time, which is focusing on that emotional self mastery. But it's also. Um, it's learning how to redirect your thoughts and your energy so that they're going towards something that's more productive for you, and it's going to create Two of Pentacles, that balance in your daily life. It's also going to help you move toward um, you're going to be, well, Ten of Pentacles, good heavens. I couldn't have said it better. It helps move you toward the things that you actually want in this life, which is essentially that Ten of Pentacles. That is what the Ten of Pentacles represents. So I've talked about it as being that household where the Queen and King of Pentacles are the head of household for this Ten of Pentacles household. And it is, everybody has what they need. The resources are all covered. People have emotional needs covered. They have everything that they really need, not always everything that they want, but generally those most important things are covered. And this Eight of Pentacles, you striving for that emotional well being, self mastery, is going to help move you toward identifying what that truly looks like. So that's that Nine of Cups message that we keep getting, and we got as recently as, I believe, the last reading. And then also this sense of balance, this day to day balance. It's also going to lead you to that overall sense of temperance. Um, you know what? Before we go to the extended reading, let's get you an oracle card. So I pulled out the Sacred Forest Oracle for you. And then, I always pull it out, but I don't always use it. And, oop, I'm missing one. And sometimes it feels like I need to pull one, and other times it feels like, no, the message is what I want it to be. Just go ahead and leave it. Coming from Source. So let's see what happens here. What is your advice? Because that's what these Oracle cards always are. They are, ooh, transcending. You got the one that's on the front of the cards. So the transcending card is all about coming of, I don't want to say like coming of age, because most of you are of age. It's a matter of moving to a next level in a much of the same way that coming of age tends to be. But it's transcending some of the challenges. And in your person's case, this Nine of Wands feeling. In your case, it's going to be a Nine of Wands kind of feeling too. It's going to be that I'm still guarding a wall that no longer needs to be guarded. This is something that both of you will learn to transcend. Both of you will learn where what you can and can't control, and you'll be able to elevate yourself beyond some of these things that you may be able to control, but also aren't as important. So that's another thing that you're gonna get better with, is the discernment of what truly needs your attention and maybe what doesn't. And that is part of the message of this Five of Swords, honestly, because this in the upright is the energy of someone who gives a lot of attention to something that really ultimately doesn't help anyone. So in the reverse, it's that same transcendent energy. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and go into the extended. Thanks for being here with me so far. If you want to go into the extended, the link is below. And otherwise, I would just say I will hope to see you again in another reading.